I, 24M, work as the lead custodian for a public elementary school. Not only am I the lead, I am also the only custodian, so as you can imagine I am alone in the building every night. The school was built in the year 1970 and is 50 years old as of this year, 2022. I've been with the school district for a year and a half. During the first 8 months I cleaned an almost brand new school, only 6 years old, and had absolutely zero paranormal experiences. I transferred to my current location in December of last year, 2021. These strange happenings began occurring about 3 months after I transferred. The first event was in either March or April of this year, 2022. I was in the front office vacuuming the mailroom floor. In this room there is a large commercial paper shredder, underneath of which tiny shreds of paper always seem to collect. I had admittedly not vacuumed under it in the 3 months since I transferred to the school, so I decided to move it, only to find something I wish I hadn't. I unlocked the wheels on the shredder and rolled it out of my way, unveiling a massive portrait which was facing the wall it was leaned against. Being the curious person that I am, I decided to move and look at the painting as well so that I could fully clean that area of the floor. The very moment my hand made contact with the painting, a rush of tingles and a cold sensation traveled up the very same arm and all the way down my spine, giving me goosebumps in the process. I then flipped it around and was met with a portrait of the school's founder. Immediately after this and for the remainder of my shift I was left with an overwhelming sense of unease, but nothing else happened for the rest of the night. Nothing happened in the following nights either, so after a couple of weeks I brushed it off as a one-off occurrence, though being the only custodian I retained the uneasy feeling and subconsciously was more on guard for a few months. Flash forward to this Wednesday night, October 26, 2022. Since the night of the incident with the founder's portrait everything had been fine. I was in the boiler room where the plant operator, my boss, also called PO, keeps our stock. I was preparing to begin collecting trash when I heard a faint and continuous noise which was atypical of the cacophony of the mechanical sounds produced by a 1970s boiler room. The noise I heard could only be described as a whistle. As mentioned, this noise was continuous, lasting for a full 3.5 minutes. This was not a whistling sound that a leaky pipe would make, but a human whistle. I moved around the boiler room attempting to locate the source of the noise and ended up in the kitchen where I heard it more clearly, but the volume of the whistle was still quiet. In the kitchen it was only just loud enough that I could definitively classify it as the sound of a human whistling. This event had no real resolution, as I did not find the source of the sound. The very next night, Thursday, October 27, 2022. Keep in mind these things. There are 4 sets of heavy metal double doors that section off the hallways. These doors are held open by electromagnetic release devices and are never closed. These details will be important in a bit. Anyway, last night I was upstairs carrying out my routine as normal and all 4 sets of double doors were open when I went up. I went back downstairs via the elevator after completing the 2nd floor. Upon leaving the elevator I glanced to my left and to my surprise, the doors that separate the stairwell from the hallway were closed. I then patrolled the halls to see if the rest of the hallway doors were closed. The doors near the elevator were the only set that were closed. Again, these doors are heavy, made of metal and are held open by an electromagnetic release system. The only 3 ways to release them are pulling the fire alarm, setting off a smoke detector, or pulling them manually. Also, both the fire alarm and smoke detector cut the circuit and release all of the doors simultaneously. Remember that I am the only person in the school at night and I was upstairs, so I could not and would not do any of the things that caused the doors to close. If it was indeed a spirit that closed these doors, I would think that it would need to be very powerful to be able to have that type of impact in our physical realm of existence. I don't know if this is the case, but I can only hope that the spirit is benevolent in nature and only wants to mess with me. Same night, different event. Prior to tonight, October 27, 2022, the paranormal events had been happening only at the school. I was lying in bed watching TV and my nightstand lamp significantly flickered twice within the span of 30 seconds. I have 2 strands of LED lights, a TV, an alarm clock, and chargers of multiple different types all plugged into the wall sockets. I thought nothing of it, rationalizing it with the fact that power flickering isn't an uncommon occurrence. I then realized that to my knowledge, had it been non-paranormal, everything else would have flickered as well. However, the lamp was the only electrical device in my bedroom which was perceivably affected. This is becoming genuinely concerning, because I don't live alone. I live with my aunt and uncle and I'm worried that I've brought something into their home. I hope that if something has attached itself to me, it stays out of my aunt and uncle's home.